is episode 6, and we have the beautiful, stunning, and sexy Ariel.
Thank you. We all know you're the sexy one.
Oh, you're so sweet.
She really is.
Today's topic, we are going to be addressing a very controversial, sensitive, even religious topic.
Yes.
And the topic is having open relationships. Huh? Oh.
Open relationships.
Okay, so our topic is open relationships. So we have some fun questions we're going to ask Ariel. Because Ariel, if you follow her and if you're not following her, what is your handle? Go ahead for Instagram.
My handle is hoass. HOEASS_Ariel ARIEL.
Dude, do you have that saved?
Because that's my
To plug it in?
hoass.
Yeah? Okay, just making sure. Okay, so if you are following her, then you already know what's up.
You already know.
If you haven't followed her, you're gonna find out what's up tonight, as well as with me. I feel like Ariel and I have these like kind of soul sistery, free spirited, hippie, love the world vibe.
Love everything.
Hug everybody. Like the trees. Okay.
It really is that. When I remember when I met you and I was like, oh, these are my people.
No way. No, it's like there was no judgment.
Nothing
We could
at
just be
all.
like free,
Like,
open,
the minute-
sexual,
yeah.
crazy, and not be like look at each other and be like, oh, look at her, or what is she acting like that?
Yes.
Or, da-da-da.
You were like so friendly off the bat and welcoming, and you were just like, I don't know what we were talking about, but it was like deep conversation right off the bat, and I was like, whoa, like this escalated quickly. She didn't even take me on a date.
Gosh damn it. I gotta watch my own videos. I have a video on that on YouTube, you guys. You know what? I should make a YouTube video on how to pick up on a woman from a woman.
You should.
Ooh.
That's a good
No,
one.
yeah, that would be a good one. Like how to pick up on a bi woman or a straight woman.
Or how do you even know how to pick up on, like, if the woman's feeling
That's what I'm
it?
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
Totally.
it's different than like as lesbian and lesbian.
Like
Same
they
thing.
know.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, so totally
We're gonna
different
get
YouTube. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation. Okay, so Ariel,
Yes.
to you,
To me.
what is your definition, or do you even have a definition of what an open relationship is?
That's a good question. I think there's levels to it. So, maybe just like anything else, baby steps. I would think, I don't know, maybe with your partner. My motto is always, you don't need to be faithful, but you need to be loyal. So I feel like if you're in a relationship and you guys just know you're so in love and it's all about each other, cool. But when you break it down in science and biology, a male, maybe even a female too, they don't really just crave that one person for a lifetime.
Right.
So you might branch off in other directions, and it's kind
Like
of
physically, we're talking about
yes,
sexually, yeah.
sexually,
Not
and
emotionally, yeah.
even maybe even emotionally a little bit, but you know that you have that emotional connection with the other person.
Right.
So
So maybe like someone kind of like, we need that little like feeding our ego just a little bit.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe?
Definitely
Okay.
feeding your ego.
I can see that. I can see that in long-term relationships because I was married for 8 years, off and on with her for 12 years. So I can definitely see
Yes.
the like, the need to kind of like, I want to still be desired and
Yes.
still feel
Oh, I still
sexy.
got it.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, finish it. Sorry.
So I don't just it's different levels, and it's not ever okay, we're at level 1 and then now we're gonna go to level 2. Maybe you're comfortable at level 1 and then you move on to level 3 and you're like, no, back to level 1. It's all situational. I would think. I don't know.
Okay. So, how do you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, so have you ever? Wait, hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Ariel, have you ever had an open relationship?
Okay, so see, that's the tricky question because you're gonna love how I answer this because I'm so tricky.
I'm gonna have a shot on that one.
I think, and this is just my own opinion, everybody's had an open relationship at some point in time. And this is why, this is my explanation of it, is the talking phase. So when you're talking to somebody and you're getting to know them, you don't know if they're talking to other people.
Right.
Where they are and, you know, their sense of space.
I've never looked at that like
yeah,
that.
so you really kind of, you're not going to meet someone and be like, oh, he's my boyfriend, day one. And then, where are you? Why aren't you calling me? No, you gradually work into that. And then he, at some point, is going to be like, if you're too aggressive, like, hey, you're not my girlfriend. And that's where it all comes from.
Yes.
So.
I love this. You know what? You really explained that in a very articulate way.
Thank you. You made me blush.
I love that. No, I really do love that because I know when I try to explain certain things, it doesn't come out how I'm feeling it or thinking. But you perfectly articulated that.
Thank you.
Like you said. So, like how you know if it's right for you. Like you said, either way, like at the beginning of dating, it's kind of like an open relationship.
Yeah.
I get that.
So I feel like these past relationships I've had in my 20s, I have to say they've all been open relationships because I never, like, when do you get to the point, like, hey, this is my boyfriend? When does it get to that point? Like, does he ask you, hey, are you my girlfriend? Like, that's kind of, people don't want to have those conversations sometimes. It's like, I see you every day. I spend time with you. I'm only having sex with you, but are you my boyfriend?
Right. And I always make this joke with people I've dated in the past. It's like, okay, if you want to be my boyfriend, at some point you need to write me a little note. Remember when you were in grade school? And you'd pass it to your friend and be like, pass it to so-and-so and so-and-so in the front row. And it'd be like, do you want to go around with me? Circle yes or circle no.
That's so cute.
So I always make that joke. And I've literally had people I've dated before who turned into boyfriends. Literally sending me a note randomly somewhere, like at dinner or something, and maybe like, what the hell is this, bro? Be like, oh my God.
You're like, you passing me the check?
Like,
take that back.
No, that's for him.
That's yours.
Let him cover that. No, but I love that. I love the fact that, there we go. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree that the dating phase, getting to know somebody phase, is like having an open relationship. Because obviously you're catching feelings. Mm-hmm. You're, enthralled in this person. It's fun and it's exciting, but there's no commitment yet.
Not yet.
So it's sort of like having a open relationship. So ladies or gentlemen, if you've never had one, kind of reflect on that part. Like that's kind of what an open relationship is. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Okay, I like that. So everyone really has kind of experienced it. Kind of.
In a sense.
Yeah, I like that.
In a way.
Okay, I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give to a man or a woman on how would they know if an open relationship is right for them?
Oh, that's good. I feel like time will tell. So I'm going to use my own personal experiences.
Please do.
I have a baby daddy, and it's been in total 15 years. And I would like to kind of describe our relationship almost an open relationship because, of course, the first couple years, high school sweethearts, it was only him and I. And then we did the breakup thing.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Jasmine's dad and I, who I married, are high school
that's why we get along
too.
so well.
I get chills.
So, then after we got to our point where we were broken up and we went wild, did our own thing.
And I remember that part too.
But, the stereotype of your baby mama, baby daddy, you guys still hook up every so often. And so you kind of, I got put in that situation where I'm like, this is a sense of an open relationship. And I kind of, I get girls asking me all the time, like, hey, you still mess with him? Like, aren't you jealous? And, you're okay with that? And they think it's so weird. And it's like, no, I know, sorry, it sucks for everybody that he's gonna see or sees or whatever it might be, but I'm always gonna be there. You might come and go, but I'm always gonna be there, and I know what him and I have, and it's not going anywhere. It sucks, but it sucks for all the other parties, yeah. Exactly. I hope you find what we have because it's awesome. Like, and I tell him all the time, and we just had this conversation in the car the other day, and I don't know what it was exactly, but I was like, I would be so mad if I found a conversation between you and another girl where you were like expressing feelings. Yeah. And you were like, oh, I was so upset about this major problem, and you didn't tell me. Like, I would take that as like betrayal over finding nudes in your phone.
Right.
I could find you like fully penetrated in a girl, and I'd be like, oh, she ain't shit.
I completely, like, in every, like, I swear, like, it's literally exactly like mirror image of my whole entire relationship with my ex-baby daddy and ex-husband. So let me answer some questions back. Yes. So what is an open relationship to me? And also what can help you ladies and gentlemen figure out on what is an open relationship? Is having an open relationship is two grown adults having a conversation about, actually it's about being real, being raw, and being able to really have the balls to express exactly what you really want.
Wow. I really like how you were like, to have the balls.
Right, because a lot of men and women are like, oh my God, well, I don't want to speak up because they're going to leave me, or they're not going to be into this.
Taboo, like our family members and friends will judge.
Yeah. So I feel it's really about us, everyone being really raw with your lover and saying, hey, because I've been with so many people that have cheated. Mm-hmm. And it's really like, if you would have told me at the beginning of the relationship, like, I want to spend most of my time with you, and then
time to time,
boys' night out. But you're my, but you're the one I love, and I want, but I still want to have a fun time.
Yes.
Like, I get the choice to be in that relationship.
I love that.
Like, let me choose. That's so, like, to be there. Give me that option.
Whether I want to deal with it, or even this is so mean because I'm cocky. It's whether you're worth it for me to put up with.
No, exactly, right? And it goes vice versa. So even I've also dated some men that are super like, no, like it has to be monogamy, da da da. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm like, wow, my lifestyle is the opposite of monogamy. Like, how's this gonna work out? So it really is about being completely honest from day one.
Yes.
I feel so open relationships are different for every single situation, every relationship, every person. And how do you know if you're in an open relationship is for you? So this is a good question for me. How do I know if an open relationship is good for me? So I'm open to falling in love.
Yes.
And if I've fallen in love with somebody, then that's where that conversation comes of, are we faithful? Are we dating? Are we hooking up?
Where are the lines?
Are we Netflix and chills? Because I'm catching feelings. I'm starting to get hurt. I'm getting jealous. I'm feeling possessive. So let's put some boundaries and let's set some rules so that I don't get hurt. And at the same time, maybe it might be the other person, him, and he doesn't get hurt. So at that point, then, I've dated some guys that literally are like, no, like, I'm not into open relationship in any way. And I'm like, okay, I can see that.
So I don't go to work?
And I'm like, but I'm like, I really like them. Maybe I'm in love with them. Like,
and you'll change.
So I'm like, okay, let's try this. Mm-hmm. I'm not a cheater by nature, but I'm also have zero problem with the open relationship. So it's like, okay, cool, I'll try this, right? So some people aren't open, and some people are. And I've been other people who is a completely open relationship. We just don't talk about it.
So I have a little bit to feed on that. I had seen like a quote somewhere, and it says like, oh, I'm wifey and relationship material, but when I'm single, I'm a whole nother person. And it's like, it's absolutely true. I totally agree with that 100%. But do you think that the open relationship comes from confidence? Because I'm a strong believer in that. And I think it's not just your own confidence, but confidence in the relationship.
Ooh, hold on.
So you can't be insecure and try to do that.
Yeah, you cannot be insecure or already like, oh, he's cheating on me and this is why he wants an open relationship, so he can cheat on me out in the open. Like,
okay, so here is probably one of my top number one rules ladies and gentlemen,
Listen up.
when you want to address your lover is this. If your lover is not open to an open relationship, I do not feel at any time that man or woman should compromise who they are and their boundaries and what their wants and needs are and their security to meet someone else's needs to be a hoe.
Yes.
Which I'm all about whole life. So when I say hoe, it's not in a bad way.
Yeah,
of course,
of
it's in a
course.
very sexual, loving, like just free-spirited way.
But also, like, I think when people think open relationship, they think like, okay, it's Friday, let's go out, we're gonna meet somebody new and bang it out. But maybe it's not that frequent. Like an
Right.
open relationship is like, oh, you know, somebody comes along and they catch my eye, do I get a free hall pass?
Right.
So all situational.
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So this is everything really is about communicating with your partner and discussing with them what works with you or what doesn't work with you. And one thing I will always like stand for is do not sell yourself out
Yeah.
because you want to keep somebody.
And it's
'Cause at the-
both ways. Like, don't
Yeah.
compromise.
Because at the end of it, it's not going to work out no matter what.
Somebody's gonna be left unhappy.
Yeah. Well, you're already unhappy. The fact that you don't want an open
Yeah.
relationship, but you're in one.
But when that, like, on the other aspect too, like, oh, I really want an open relationship, but my partner doesn't, so now I'm gonna cheat. So
See, yeah.
that's not fair.
So there we go. So we're talking about communication, open relationships. Now, personally for me, like, again, back to, there's been times I've dated people that aren't into open relationships, and I get that, and I've tried, I'm not tried, I choose. I choose to be in a committed relationship, you know, monogamy, whatever our boundaries and commitment is. And I've also been in open relationships, you know, so
Done
I'm
both.
open for both. But obviously at the end of the day, I mean, I was in an 8-year marriage, off and on with somebody 12 years. And honestly, like, I feel like what really kept the relationship together, I mean, other than this having like an amazing connection, you know, like, was like the fact that we did have an open
communication?
relationship sexually.
Yes.
You know, where I was able to be like, okay, like, you like her, I like her too.
And
Let's have a
maybe
good time.
that's what made your connection that much stronger.
Right, and I feel too, especially as men, you know, like men love variety.
Yeah.
You know, as well as a lot of women do.
It's so funny. I watched, I'm really into this whole like open relationship and, you know, just more on the aspect of science terms because it's at the end of the day, we're animals. It's all biology. And that's what a male was meant for. You know, he can reproduce the next day. A woman, you know, she has to wait a whole 9 months.
And gosh, damn it,
So
did
shit.
we get fat?
So you kind of always have to keep that in mind, but being the developed species we are, there's men that aren't open to it, and they'd be like, nope, mm-mm. Like I feel my baby daddy, when we are committed to each other, that he's all about me, and I'm exactly the same way out of respects for him.
Right.
But if he would have been like, yeah, do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, I feel like I would only be doing my thing because he's doing his thing.
Right.
Not that I necessarily crave it, but just I'm like, oh, well, if he's doing it, whatever, and you know,
Like, again,
opportunity
you're-
arise.
Like I think of like compromising what you really want.
Yeah, I mean,
Please
it's,
somebody else.
in that sense, it's not even like, oh yeah, I really want an open relationship for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like, there's no way I'm gonna be unhappy. It's just kind of like, you know, if the opportunity comes on, whatever, like, we'll take it. But I feel like him, he's more of the female in as negative
In
as
your
it sounds
relationship?
in the relationship, because he's totally, and this is on the aspect of commitment. So he's
Right.
totally like, no, when I'm with you, I only want to be with you. And if you want me to be with somebody else, like a threesome or whatever, I'm okay with it. And
Of course he is.
of course, right? What guy's not going to say no to 2 girls?
Never met a man in my life who said no to a threesome.
Right? Like, why would you?
Ever.
So-
And men, is there anybody on YouTube right now watching? I know there's a live stream going on. Have any of you, and would any of you ever say no to a threesome?
Someone said I like variety.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Someone said they like variety.
It's going slowly. We have to
Okay. So feel free, everybody that's on the YouTube live, on the timeline, leave your comments. Any questions? If you guys see any questions, let us know.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and answer them, or anything funny, we'll go ahead and respond back to you guys.
I know those
Interact.
couples that are like, oh, I have a free celebrity hall pass. Like if I ever met my celebrity crush, I have a hall pass to bang them out.
Okay, just so real quick off the subject, who is your celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. At one point, a few years ago, I totally convinced myself I was in a relationship with Adam Levine.
I don't even know who that is. Wait, I don't even know who that is.
Maroon 5.
What have,
Two guys said they would say no to a threesome.
Two
guys said they say no to a threesome.
Why?
are you guys from the Middle East?
I know. No, I think even they would say yes to a threesome.
Yeah, they would.
How do you say no?
I said hell no, threesomes all day.
I hate to shame people, but if you're saying no to threesome, maybe you can't last that long. I don't know.
Right, or maybe they're intimidated.
Yeah.
That is intimidating. What do you do with two hot women at the same time? Like it's, I think for
Where do
minutes
you go?
already hard enough to please one woman.
Yeah, it is.
You know? They're like,
You gotta know the buttons.
They're like, boob, vagina, butt. You know what I mean? Like kissing, da-da-da. And then there's a whole,
That game twisted, bop it.
like a Chuck E. Cheese, like a Dave and Buster's, that little thing,
Oh, yeah,
thing
the
that pops
head
up,
cut.
and you're like, which one? What do I do? Which one? Oh, that one. No, I've been told that so many times. I've had very, very many threesomes in my entire lifetime, orgies, everything. Like I'm just a very open person with a lot of things, and so obviously we are on YouTube Live, so we have to keep
Censor.
PG version. After this, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go into. It's called After Hours. Yes. It is available on my Patreon, and we're gonna tell you exactly the do's and don'ts to having a threesome. I'm 43 years old, and I can tell you I probably had more threesomes than most people in their lifetime. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how to make it work effectively, positively, and have it add value and fun and variety to your relationship. Yay. Where it's just playful and your husband's like ready to renew his vows.
I need to take notes on that one.
So that is going to be the after hours subject. So back to YouTube. Okay, so remember we're PG here. Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about boundaries and guidelines. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to a lady or a man watching right now on how to set boundaries and guidelines for having an open relationship?
Be 100% clear. Like
I need a firecrackers.
if you are in the middle of contracting your open relationship and you are driving in the car by yourself, taking a shower, whatever you're doing, really in detail, think about exactly what would bother you. So, I don't know. I can't think of one for myself. I think in my sense, I would be like, do not treat her on the same level as myself. And like, not that I'm better than anyone.
Okay, so what would that be?
Yeah, so like,
Let's go into that part.
don't be texting her, hey, how's your day? Like, no.
Okay.
And don't, especially.
Boundary number one for
Boundary
Ariel.
number
Do
one.
not text another woman. How are you doing today?
I mean, if it's like you want to see her later that day or you're trying to set up a date with her at a, like, hey, be polite. Like, hey, how's your day? So are you available Friday? Like, I was thinking of spreading your cheeks. Like, but don't like not every day like good morning beautiful like fucking heck no.
But you can curse, you can
okay,
curse.
say bad words.
We already realized last night all my podcasts are already on
Bad words.
are marked explicit. So
Someone asked, what about if you wanted the threesome with another guy?
So it's a guy.
Like if you told your, like, for example, if, like, what do you guys think about, you know, threesome, you assume it was
Two
another
girls,
girl?
yeah.
What about with another guy?
oh, you know what?
That's a good
I've
question.
never to this day. Oh, actually,
She's like, I have.
I'm gonna answer that real quick. Teacher, pick me.
Go, you, Deanne.
Set me in. Okay. Tag me in. Tag team.
Tag team.
Maybe we know about this, maybe we don't. Okay.
Your turn.
I can't take it anymore. You go. Okay.
Her.
So how I'm gonna answer that is it's interesting because not until this year for the first time ever have I ever had a man tell me, hey, like I want to see you be banged by another man.
Oh yeah.
I've like never in my life have I experienced that. And I was kind of a little offended, like
right?
threesome, always thinking of women, but like to tell me like, I want to see another man sleep with you. It made me like my first intuition was like, so what? Like you're not in love with me? Like you don't want to be with me? You know, but at the same time, like I know other couples who that is their husband's fantasy, who are in love, who are married, who have a family, like they're like amazing in every sense. Do you mean so I get to also see a second side of it as why would I even take it offensively? Mm-hmm. But honestly, at the end of the day, I personally have never wanted to sleep with two guys at the same time. Like I'm lucky if I'm even attracted to one guy. Like that alone is hard for me to even find a guy I'm attracted to. Like I don't know, there has to be this chemistry. Women's so easy, they're so beautiful. Like, but for men,
the way men are built too is like really physical. Like, you know, they can see two girls or a female and just be turned on. For a woman, you kind of have to be flirty with a guy and be like, okay, he's not an idiot, and be a little bit attracted to sleep with him. And then, I mean, on the other scale too, if you have a girl that's totally like, yeah, I want two guys at the same time, it's like, you're a down ass bitch. That's all I can say. Like, damn.
goals.
You got it, girl.
No, and yeah, so I do know a few girls, friends of mine, who that like is a fantasy, like, and it's only sexual.
Where their man want to
no,
see them?
well, also where she's wanted two guys at one time.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I mean, like
I rarely hear that though. Honestly, like as a woman, I rarely hear. None of my friends ever. I don't think I've really heard many of my friends ever say that.
Yeah, I don't think it's like something that's totally like, oh, that's very rare. But it's kind of like, dang, girl, like, all right, like you got two guys to agree to that, like you got game, like that's all I can say.
Another question. They said it's hard to be. Well, it's not really a question, but they're saying it's hard to be in an open relationship without your significant other falling in love with someone else, even after the boundaries are set.
No, I disagree.
Okay, so Ariel's gonna answer this. I'm gonna answer it. Go ahead.
So he's saying.
Maybe just repeat it real quickly one more time on your mic.
So we have
what was the question
a
again?
statement.
Hold on. Yeah, you go ahead.
So we have a statement that it's kind of hard to not fall in love with the other person when you're in an open relationship. So
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
yes, he's saying.
What the heck?
I disagree because, yeah, I mean, maybe that's a fear.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, what might be holding you back is my significant other is going to find something better. But that's why the confidence and, you know, you have to totally be comfortable with yourself, with your partner. Like, I have something so incredible to offer that they're not going to leave me. And that's where the boundaries are, where I was explaining my boundaries. Is
Right.
no, you don't need to have that extra emotional connection with that person. Flirt. You know, you can flirt without being in detail. Like, you don't need to know her mother's name. Like, you don't need to ask her how her kids are doing.
What she had for lunch? What she had for dinner?
Like, no, just, hey, what are you wearing? You're like, you wearing panties? No, cool, that's freaking hot. Like, don't be asking personal questions. Don't make it personal, and that's where you set your boundaries.
And I'll chime in on this so the comment, obviously I would ask you, that's whoever making this comment, you're saying that being in a threesome, you're gonna fall in love with someone else, so you've had that happen before? Or is it's something you think is gonna happen? Because this is what it really comes straight up to. If you're in love with somebody, you can have sex with 100 different people and no one will ever take you away from them. Ever.
Agreed.
Now, if you have a threesome and that other person falls in love with them, that person isn't meant for you. That means that they weren't ever in love with you.
Oh, that's such a good point. You know, my mom used to always say that because I'd be like, oh my God, he cheated on me. And I was like in elementary school when it was one of those, will you be my girlfriend notes?
Wait, was his name Pete? That was my first little boyfriend's name.
And
The person said that happened to him. That's why.
Oh,
oh, see, then you didn't set those boundaries.
But not even boundaries, but honestly, I feel,
Yeah, like I did.
honestly, at the end of the day, that person was not in love with you.
No, I agree with you. My mom would always say, whenever we'd say, oh, that person cheated. You know, that person, my friends broke up because he cheated or she cheated. My mom would always say, well, she or he did him or her a favor.
Yes.
And, you know, it's kind of like it hurts because you ripped that Band-Aid off and the scab went with it, but now you're going to heal.
Yeah.
My mom, like, I love my mom, not to be degrading, but she's the ultimate hoe. She had all, like, she's the one that molded me. She had all these great, you know, things where I'm like, dude, you taught me to think like a guy in a sense. And so she would always tell, like, she would say things, and at the time I didn't know what she meant, but she would continue to say them. And I'd be like, oh yeah, they broke up. She's a slut. She cheated. And my mom would be like, oh, well, she did him a favor. And I'm like, how did she broke his heart. How is that a favor? And then now I'm like, you're right. Like, you know, the truth always comes out, and poor thing.
And it makes, and I feel like, because I'm older than you, and I'm a mom. And I honestly feel, obviously when I was in my 20s, I thought differently than I think today.
Of course.
And ultimately, what it really comes down to is when someone's in love with you, no one's going to take them away.
Can't.
No blowjob, no doggy style, no threesome, no orgy, nothing.
Nothing. I agree.
Because that person's in love with you.
Here's another question. What if the person who your partner's hooking up with is better looking than you?
Okay, so
Oh, I love this
It's
question.
like hotter than
So the question is, what if the person you're inviting in to have a threesome in is hotter than yourself? Okay, Ariel, you go first.
Oh, you want me to answer first? I want you to
Well,
answer
that's
first.
the last one, so I wanted to be like,
Okay.
because they always tell me I talk too much. They're like, let them
I wanted
talk.
to hear you first.
I'll go first again.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
I still need to think.
So first of all, I honestly just be coming from the like life coaching and confidence and coaching. Honestly, I don't ever feel anyone should ever put themselves down or compare themselves to anyone ever, because it's never about looks. Somebody's always gonna be taller than me, skinnier than me, blonder than me, more blue eyes than me, like things that I'm never gonna have. It's never about the looks, it's always about the connection.
Yes.
So somebody, I've had lots of threesomes where girls are skinnier than me, or, you know what I mean, like, and, you know, like, can possibly be, you know, like, in someone else's like, oh, she's prettier, or, you know, and that's somebody's judgment. But I feel like I'm exactly the same as the woman who stands in front of me. I don't ever think, oh, she's more beautiful. Nor do I ever think I'm more beautiful. I just see the beauty in her.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like if you're gonna have a threesome, that's how you're gonna have to look at it, because you're coming in insecure.
Yes.
And the last thing you don't ever want to do in a threesome, an open relationship, is come in insecure ever, because only gonna cause the relationship to fall apart. Guaranteed 100% of the time.
I totally agree with you. And it's like comparing black and blue. There's a little bit of similarities. If you're blue enough, you might look black, but you're different. And you know, you're both colors. And that's how you need to look at it. Like, you can't compare yourself to the other. They might, you know, you guys might have some similarities. Like, oh, she likes the doggy, so do I. And is she doing it better than me? Like, no, use it as a friendly competition. Fuck it. Like, be like, oh, you like my doggy better? Like,
Put your back into it.
like, you know, go do some back stretches. I don't know. Like,
You don't let him do a backflip into the splits and twerk on it.
yeah. You gotta use it to your advantage always. And I like, confidence is a hard thing to build for some people, and especially, you know, when you're in a vulnerable state, which is being naked and in the bedroom, and oh, I'm giving my lover to somebody else. That's a very vulnerable spot for a lot of people. So you just kind of gotta always look at the glass half full rather than half empty.
I love that.
Thank you.
Someone said thanks for the insight.
Yeah.
Yay.
No, that is definitely true. Okay, so let's see what else. What other questions do we have here? Here's a good question. If you are in an open relationship, do you allow social media, friends, and family to know that your relationship is open?
Oh, that's a good question. That is totally up to you. You have to have some thick skin. Totally.
Be prepared. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely be prepared. Be prepared to be judged, to be put down, to be judged, to be ridiculed, to be judged, to be insulted, to be judged, and to be talked shit about. Like,
Judged.
it's in every single way. People are going to judge you, no matter what decision you make in your life.
And they're always going to use it, like my family, and I'm not going to be like, oh, my immediate family, but also, some like cousins, uncles, aunts, whoever. They love to, like, when you're in an argument, love to hit you with those low blows. And it's like, really, dude? Like, you want to go there? And you just got to prepare yourself for that, too, and always think, like, be confident. I think that's number one here is your confidence.
Huge.
You just got to know that what you're doing, maybe other people don't understand it, but that's what's right for you. It might not be right for society. It might not be right for them and their values, but it's working for you. What works for somebody might not work for somebody else.
I love that.
Thank you.
You're like the perfect person, honestly. I don't think there's another person I could have possibly brought on for this subject. And like honestly, like I'm exactly the same way. And people always ask me like, well, how are you open in your marriage? And like, why are you even to this day, like I'm open for threesomes with everyone I date, everyone I've ever been with, past flames, past lovers, and I just understand like sexuality is sexuality, sex is sex. Being in love. Look, I'm like,
It's the best.
did you like I just got chills. You mean I said sex to sex? Like I said it, there was no feelings. But the minute I said in love, I was just like my whole body was like,
She's
no.
such a lover.
Because there's a huge difference, and I feel like society is so caught up on I feel like so many people are in so many relationships that they're not in love.
Yeah.
They're settling, or they feel they have to be there for the kids, or
They're
there's
happy
circumstances.
with the idea of love, and they try to make the puzzle piece fit.
And they're not.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening is it ends up breaking up, like 2-3 years later.
Oh my God.
I always say there's a 3-year mark to really know, like 2-3 years mark, for sure 3-year mark. It's literally everyone I know, like at the 3-year mark, like not many people last beyond
Make it or
that.
break it.
Because you kind of realize, do I really want to marry this person? Am I in love with this person? Is the passion, like you said, we talked earlier, she asked me, like does sex even get better? Like honestly, like my entire marriage, like every single time we had sex, like from the first day till like the divorce day, till even, we fooled around a few years after that, it was always
good.
more intense than the last time. Always, like literally, like this spiritual, mind blowing, like out of this transformational world, like into a whole different universe. So when people tell me,
like
"Oh, that doesn't exist. Fairy tales don't exist.
Not for you.
Passion doesn't exist," and that makes me just feel like you're that person that settled.
I agree.
You're that person that said, "Oh, this person is nice."
Or you stood in your comfort zone
Yeah,
and
they're
didn't.
safe.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh,
It's so funny.
they're not gonna act out. Oh, they're decent. They're classy. You know what I mean? Like,
conservative. Yeah, I
oh,
totally.
She fits what society told me how I should behave and how she should behave. But are you truly alive?
Agreed. I had a conversation with a couple, and very awkward, kind of. It was just myself and the couple.
I was going to make a comment. Which we're going to save this. Remember, after this, you guys, we're going to have an after-hours conversation on how to have a threesome with your lover.
Yes.
How to ask them, how to present it, how to have the rules that I will teach you that has always worked for me to always have a successful threesomes. It's only available on my Patreon. Thanks, patreon.com. Unleash your sexy. That's what it is there. Okay, so that's after. So, okay, go ahead. Go.
So I was having a conversation at dinner with this couple, and it just, came out. And it was something along the lines where she was like, oh, he would never ask me for that. And I was like, the only reason, and sorry to burst your bubble, the only reason why he would never ask you that is because he knows the answer already.
Oh,
and you can't put that out there. And then she was so angry with my answer. She gave him laser eyes, and he was like, she's right. And he's like, I don't have that craving because I already know it's not a possibility. And he's like, it doesn't bother me. And I was like, that's his compromise. And always, keep that there. And there's things that you should compromise and things you shouldn't. Like if it's something that's really going to bother you, a fantasy where you like, I really have to complete this fantasy, don't compromise it. But there's other things where it's like, I could live without that. Live without it.
I love everything about this whole entire thing. Is there any last tips that you want to give to a couple who is thinking about it, or a man or a woman who is into open relationships, and how they could present it?
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't know. I just kind of, you have to always sit there and put your priorities into perspective and put yourself first.
Repeat that again. Louder.
Put your priorities into perspective.
Say it again for those girls out there.
Put your priorities into perspective and put yourself first.
Oh, wait, right there again. Say that right there.
Put yourself first, because you cannot help other people unless you can help yourself. Always. So cliche, but it's the truth.
And you haven't even taken any life coaching classes. Like, what the heck?
No, I have a degree in psychology.
Oh, you really do?
I do.
Oh, there we go. I'm actually, there we go. That's where we're coming from.
So you really have to.
I love you said science too. I kept thinking too, like, science, I should know about science.
I'm so about science.
Yeah, so am I. I love quantum physics, everything about that.
So I'm there with you. And it's like, you really have to just love yourself before you can love anybody. It sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. You need to find your own confidence before you find confidence in your relationship.
Right. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to give my last little tidbits. Right? That's a word?
Yes.
Okay, 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes. Okay. So A, open relationships only work with two people who are both desiring it. Yes. Number 2, don't ever compromise your monogamy to please another man or another woman. Because at the end of the day, there's only going to be arguments and fights and insecurities and problems. And like, life is meant to be playful. Relationships are meant to be playful, happy, fun, affectionate, loving. Okay, so remember, you got to agree to it. If you don't agree with it, find somebody. There's some people out there that don't want it. I think it's actually a lot of people don't.
That's not your puzzle piece. It was a close fit, but it's not your puzzle piece.
Also, having an open relationship is a lot of confidence. It's knowing that you bring to the table something somebody else doesn't have. And honestly, boom, here we go. Number 3.
Drum roll, please.
Never, ever agree to an open relationship if you're feeling insecure.
Never.
The only time I've ever had open relationships or allowed threesomes is because a person I was with literally worshipped the ground I walked on. I was everything to them. Like, even during the open relationship and threesome, I still was like the number one girl.
Yes.
I still was. Like, that is the reason I felt like I could allow this gift to go. We could go that way. The minute I'm insecure, open relationship is cut.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Yeah, no.
They're both cut.
Yeah, definitely. So those are our do's and don'ts and our tips to open relationships. Feel free to comment below in all my YouTubes. Give us a comment, give our videos a thumbs up, and make sure you forward this over to your best friend.
Send it on over.
Somebody that you know that is completely been asking about it or is interested in open relationships. Right now, we are going to turn off for 30 seconds, and we're going to be going to Patreon, and we're going to be discussing how to get your partner to have an open relationship and a threesome.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, did we end it? Okay, plug in all your social medias.
Oh, so I have on Instagram, Hoas Ariel. And I have two. There's one that's all one word, Hoas Ariel. And then the other one is Hoas_Ariel. And also you can find me on OnlyFans if you want to get sexy with me. So, and that one's Hoas_Ariel.
Okay, and do you have Twitter?
I do have Twitter.
There you go.
I forget about Twitter. It's the same, Hoas_Ariel. That's the main handle I use.
Okay, Ariel's Ariel.
Yes, it is. And then Ho is HOEASS_ARIEL.
All right, everyone, make sure you go
you.
follow her. She is, wow, lots of fun. Okay, bye. We'll see you on
Bye.
Patreon.